Good morning everyone. Today in this video we will fight against the atmospheric of our world around us, and today we will discuss one actually ongoing issue, but like every issue, everything in this world, each thing, each event, whatever, has to finish one day. And this clashes or creeping conflict we have between Russia and Ukraine, and actually between Russia and the Western superpowers, Anglo-Saxon superpowers mainly, not only but mainly, will have to finish one day. And now we see that all predictions that Russia would collapse, Russia would disintegrate, that its leader would be removed, that everything would change, and suddenly after this shock Russia would liberalize and business as usual and lovey relationship and so on. Russia would be again in quotation European nation. We would live happily and have cheap resources, and German economy and German plebs would live in the prosperity it doesn't deserve. No. Everything lasts. Actually, we don't know what happens. Who is winning, who is losing? Maybe both are winning, maybe both are losing. I'm joking, but actually, the only certain thing as of now is that we are served mainly propaganda of both sides. One thing that it's for sure is that the creeping conflict is ongoing, it generating costs. Many countries got involved and they are gaining losses, many losses, like Poland and so on, taking so many refugees, paying them so much money, draining the budget, really preparing everything for, I hope it will not happen, but for ethnic conflict inside, if it doesn't change. Because newcomers are really privileged with respect to the locals. So what we see? We see that the possible solution is as follows. If this conflict ends and the this what's still not happening, Russian leadership is changed into, let's say, more in quotation liberal one. Example, the Western countries would say, oh, now we have again new reset, now Russia is more liberal, it's changing, it's a good face of Russia, previous ones were bad, but the nation is good, and now there is a representative of the nation, and they are normal people like we, and they think like we, but the previous leader was bad, and reset as usual, trade as usual. Central European countries are sold under the Russian zone of influence because we have to pay something to Russia for the bad experience under the previous bad leadership it experienced. So, so Central European countries would be sold again in the name of reset, good relation, and new liberal Russia. Of course, with time, if it happened, but most likely not, but if it happened, with time, this new, in quotation, liberal leader would say, I would like to be very liberal like you, but I cannot. I have pressure from army, pressure from some circles of the society. They are pressuring me. If you don't help me, if you don't give me more money, and if you don't allow me to do what I want in the countries that are within the zone of my interest, they will simply exchange me on the seat of the president or prime minister or whatever, and bad Russia will come back. And then Western powers would say, oh yes, do what you want within the zone of your influences, we give you better contracts, just be this liberal Russia and keep these hardliners, these dumpheads quiet. Yeah, so we know West still will play like this. The Central European countries, as I mentioned in one of the previous movies, should build from Norway till Greece their own bloc of collaboration, military and economic collaboration, and the rest of the activity of states should be left to each state separately, and such bloc would be able to balance between Western, mainly German power in Europe and Russian power on the east. If we are divided, we will still be the matter of trading between these two centers of power. If war lasts and Ukraine falls, this is another scenario completely. Actually, it's almost fallen. When Ukraine falls completely, then West would again negotiate with Russia, but from a very much weaker position. And again, Central European countries are the matter of trading, and someone, most likely Pribaltica, maybe also Poland, would be sold under the Russian zone of influence, and sooner than later, West wants to come back to old trade with resources. So I don't think that the fact that this conflict lasts long really is good for the especially Western European powers. US is a little bit gaining from it politically and economically, but on a longer run, we will see how it will go. And of course, we see that thanks to the fact that it doesn't go so quickly, this military operation from the Russian side as well, most likely Chinese are still hesitating from blocking Taiwan. So there are two main possible scenarios of finishing this conflict. None of them is good for the Central European countries unless they are united and oppose one bloc Eastern and second bloc Western together. If not, we will be still the matter of trade-off. But the worst scenario would be, and most likely it won't happen, that Russian leadership is suddenly changed and Western propaganda centers begin the propaganda, Gorbachev-like propaganda from late 80s, early 90s, Gor be liberal, Gor be good, so another one would be liberal and good, and everything for Russia, just to please Russia and government. If Russia wants to do something, yes, we have to, because the bad guys, hardliners, will come again. So this would be the worst scenario. Most likely it will not happen very quickly. So we will see when everything will end. But as of now, I do not see a very positive end for this conflict. And somehow, as I said, and Russia didn't collapse, nothing collapsed, it still lasts and consumes our resources, time and human lives. We will see what will happen in the nearest future. All the best, bye.